This Saturday, the Occupy Wall Street movement returns to its birthplace in the Big Apple, Zuccotti Park, for a day of action against corporate money in politics. Events are scheduled around the 4th anniversary of the Supreme Court's Citizens United ruling of 2010 that held that corporations and unions are allowed to spend unlimited amounts of money on political campaigning and elections in the U.S. Occupy Wall Street has essentially dubbed this an assault on the power of the people and a slap in the face of democracy. Occupy, of course, is known for its tough stance against money in politics and the overexpanded corporate power in modern-day America. Their demands remain to put an end to corporations being able to influence politics with their money and end the concept of Wall Street sleeping in the same bed with politicians, as well as pushing to stop the notion that corporations have the same rights as people in the U.S. They will be marching to the too-big-to-fail banks, holding a rally and speak-outs against corporations outside New York offices of several corporations, and this will be taking place throughout the day. Occupiers say years after the financial collapse of 2008, wealth inequality continues to be a prevalent issue for so many common Americans who are still struggling to stay afloat while corporations have enjoyed better times than ever. Now, the key goal for the movement is to gather more public awareness to the major issue of corporate control in the United States and doing what they can to call for an overturn of the Citizens United ruling, providing even more power in politics to the already largely almighty corporate elites and pushing aside the 99% of the population that remains voiceless. And this comes, of course, 2 years after the most expensive presidential election in American history and counting, where more than $500 million were pumped into the presidential campaigns. Separately, one obstacle the Occupy Wall Street movement seems to recently have been faced with are numbers of protesters coming out for public events. And the question is, will Occupy be able to generate enough buzz for enough people to show up for this Saturday's protests? The movement has largely been out of the public eye once Occupy camps across the U.S. were evicted roughly 2 years into the movement. And while work in smaller groups and on a more local, narrow-focused scale has been ongoing, it's initially the big numbers of Occupy protesters that got the world to take a listen to what they had to say. Anastasia Churkina, RT, New York.